Welcome to NWA Vet Presents. Today we're going to be taking a look at the PACT Act of 2022, mainly dealing with toxic exposure. Though the PACT Act is still being worked in the House of Representatives, there's little doubt it will soon be signed into law by President Biden. The PACT Act addresses toxic exposure. The most common exposures are from Agent Orange and burn pits and other toxins, though the Act also includes exposure to radiation. It's important to note that research is continuing by the VA in toxic exposure, and others could be added at a later date. We will start with Agent Orange exposure. Hypertension will finally be added as a presumptive for Agent Orange. This condition has been a long time coming and will likely affect many veterans. However, as of now, this adding of the hypertension as a presumptive will take effect in October of 2026 and likely will have no provision for an earlier effective date. In addition, Agent Orange exposure locations are being expanded to include Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Guam, American Samoa, and the Johnson Atoll. For Thailand, the veteran must have served on any U.S. or Royal Thai base between January 9th, 1962 and June 30th, 1976. For Laos, the veteran must have served anywhere in Laos, anywhere in the country, between December 1st, 1965 and September 30th, 1969. For Cambodia, the veteran must have served at Mamot or Krek in the Kampong Cham province between April 16th and April 30th of 1969. For Guam or American Samoa, the veteran must have served in one of them between January 9th, 1962 and July 21st, 1980. And finally, a veteran could have served on Johnson Atoll or on a ship calling at Johnson Atoll between January 1st, 1972 and September 30th, 1977. Going on to toxic exposure for Gulf War era veterans. These are the list of countries for covered veterans. That's the VA term for veterans who are covered under this act. The term covered veteran applies to any veteran who served in or in the airspace above Bahrain, Iraq, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Somalia, or the United Arab Emirates on or after August 2nd, 1990. It also applies to any veteran who served in or in the airspace above Afghanistan, Djibouti, Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, or Uzbekistan on or after September 11th, 2001. And there's a note that any other country can be added if it is determined relevant by the Secretary at a later date. Currently, when we talk about burn pit and toxic exposure, asthma, sinusitis, and rhinitis are presumptives with a 10-year limit. That is, a veteran must be diagnosed within 10 years of the last time they were deployed in one of these covered countries. With the passage of PACT Act of 2022, that 10-year limitation will be removed. So anytime afterwards that a veteran develops asthma, sinusitis, or rhinitis, they can go ahead and file a claim. In addition, there is a list of new presumptive conditions which will be phased into the VA rating system between now and October 1st, 2025. These include such conditions as asthma, chronic bronchitis, COPD, emphysema, pleuritis, chronic rhinitis, and a whole list of cancers of any type, such as head cancer, neck cancer, respiratory cancer, reproductive cancer, lymphoma. Any type of cancer in any of these systems will be covered as presumptive. The VA healthcare will also be open for anyone who has been engaged in toxic exposure risk activity. This expansion of health care will be phased in between October this year and October 2032 and will cover veterans who took part in contingency operations such as OIF and OEF. And there are several other named operations which are listed in the Act. Briefly, this is a current timeline, and I emphasize current as the bill has not been signed into law yet, but it's a timeline of when the different phases will take effect. Notice that the expansion of areas affected by Agent Orange will take place this year, while the addition of hypertension is scheduled currently to be added in October of 2026. It's important to know that as all of these changes are going into effect, it's going to open the claims process to tens of thousands of new claims. This will most likely result in longer processing times for the claims. Of course, the VA will be hiring new raters, but understand that the waiting times will be longer, not shorter. Hopefully, this answers some of your questions about the upcoming PACT Act of 2022. We'll keep watching to see when President Biden signs it into law and if any changes have been made between now and then. You can feel free to like us on Facebook for the latest veteran news or check out our blog on nwavet.org. Thank you for watching. Until next time, y'all take care.